Okay.
Okay. By the way, Mario, I'll come over and give you tomorrow morning, God willing, the two flashes that I have. Okay.
Okay. And I give you the one I have. Okay, you're recording.
Okay. So
Yaakov, are you in LA or Israel? Yaakov.
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay, good. Okay.
I got here under the last minute.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
So tonight is March 18, 2020. We are on Daf Masechta Shabbos, Daf Yomi DAf. So we had a machlokas that if a zav goes out with a cod piece, which is a device that he wears over his male organ to collect zivus, to decide whether or not he has to bring a korban or not, to collect the zivus, there was one brisa said that if you go out on Shabbos wearing it, you're chayiv, and the other said you're not. And it had to do whether you were machshav this. We tried to compare it to a case of a kli that's put on a wall to protect it, and whether it's classified as water that could be used to be machshir food to be makabel tuma, and because it has to be nicha for the bailim to want that water. So the Gemara says midomi. We're on the top of Yud Beis. Midah is no comparison. Hasam lo koboy lulani mashkin klau. The water that he just wants to protect the wall. He doesn't want the water at all. So that's why that's why he's not machshav there. While a high kiss, the kabula beziva. Here it's got a function. He wants to know whether he saw zivus or not. Rather says the Gemara, halo dami al seifa. You want to tell me that there's a case similar to the case of zivus? It's similar. It's the seifa of the water and the hechshel kabel tuma mission. Areva, you have a dish that's been set outside. Sheyara delaf latocha, and rain fell into it. So my money tozim vanitzbim. So water drops that either drop out of it, or for example, overflow the kli. So they're not considered mayim for any tzorach, and the guy didn't want it, and therefore it's not the chiyutan. And if that water fell on food, it would not be machshir to be makabel. But v'shebetocha reis b'chiyutan. But the water that he wants that to be assembled, even though he maybe he didn't know it was going to rain, but now that it rained, he is happy that it's there and that it stays there, and it shouldn't dirty up the house. That ratzon that he's satisfied is enough that it fell in with his ratzon. And the Gemara wants to say that would work the same with this cod piece of the zav, because he's interested in the cod piece, collecting it. So we still don't understand the stira between the two brises. Hi, Rab Yudah, Rab Shimon. It's a different machlokas. Says Rashi, the Omer Melacha shenetzricha legufa shebertzona lo sasa ve'notzarach leikatach lisa. If let's say Maisa's done and he doesn't really care for that outcome, still, and einotzarach lezivazu shal yadabah kisa zeh. That's the whole purpose why he's going out with the kiss. Rab Yehuda holds that a melacha shenetzricha legufa doesn't make a difference. You're chai. While Rav Shimon holds that melacha shenetzricha is potter. This sugya is learned by, you have a mace in the house who's lying on a bed. Can you move the bed with the mace on it? So there's a machlokas whether you're chayiv for hotzah or not. Even though it's lo nichale, Rav Yehuda will hold your chayiv. Rav Shimon says you're put. So the Gemara wants to say that this machlokas between the brayos regarding the cod piece relates to that machlokas between Rav Yehuda and Rav Shimon. Yotze Adam B'Tefillin Erev Shabbos Simchas Sheikha. We said that a tailor cannot go out with his sewing needle because he might carry it. We're talking about an Erev Shabbos because he might forget and carry it. But if a person wears tefillin Erev Shabbos, he's allowed to go out. My time. You have a person has to be checking his tefillin all the time while he's wearing it. You cannot be mesiach your das from your tefillin. And how do we know that Kal V'chomer mitzitz? The Kohen Gadol wore a crown called the tzitz, which said Kodesh LaHashem. And matzit she'ein bo elas kora achotomi. The Kohen Gadol has to recognize that he's wearing it all the time. Shlo yasiach daitu imen. Tefillin sheyesh ben askoras harbe. Tefillin which has many names of Hashem in it. Allah has kama v'kama that you can't be mesiach daitu. Hilkach mitkedokaluhu. You don't have to worry that he's going to forget his tefillin and carry it on Shabbos. He's going to take it off because he's thinking about it every moment. Tanya, based on this concept, Chananya Oimer, and we say this every Erev Shabbos in the Bameh Madlikin. Person should check his garments right before he goes to shul Friday night to make sure we're talking about it in a place that doesn't have an A-roof because he might carry. This is a major halacha on Shabbos that avoids all sorts of problems. Then the Mishnah says, Lo yafles kelav. You should not go through the process of getting rid of lice from your garment. Now, does that mean Lo yafles kelav bayom? That's referring to Shabbos. Shemayaro. Rabbi Eliezer, the Tanya of Rabbi Eliezer, Hahoire kina b'Shabbos kilo hoire gamal. There's a machlokes between Beis Hillel and Rabbi Eliezer whether if you kill a louse on Shabbos, it's considered you killed something. You're not allowed to hunt and kill on Shabbos. Now, is a louse enough of a living thing that you'd be chayiv? So Rabbi Eliezer says it is. We hold that it's not. But Rabbi Eliezer says if you kill a louse, it's like you killed a camel. So maybe when our Mishnah says you can't go out, you can't deal with lice on, that's not referring to Erev Shabbos, it's referring to Shabbos Mamish. And the Lo Yikra Lo Arner Shemayat is also Shabbos. Because you shouldn't read by the light of a candle, because you may touch the candle and bend it towards you to see more light, and through that act, you might come to extinguish it, which is also chiyuv doraisa. O dilvash tarvayu shemayat. Maybe both of the dinim refer to the shemayata case, and it's also Erev Shabbos, because we said you shouldn't do it even Erev Shabbos because you might extend it into Shabbos. And maybe the problem with the lice is you need to use the candle to see the lice. So Toshma says Ein Poilin, which is this process of getting rid of the lice. The Ein Korn are on there. So the Gemara says, what does that solve? Me'alim and Masnisan, that's the same as our Mishnah. So Toshma Ein Korn are on there. Bring another brisa. You may not delouse using candlelight. And the Ein Korn are on there. And Elu min halachos she'amru b'aliyas Chanan ben Chizkiya ben Garam. These were some of the halachos that were said in the attic of Hanani ben Chizkiya. And we'll see there it relates to, normally we paskin like Beis Hillel, but there are 18 dinim that were paskin like Beis Shammai in this, because at that time in that attic, there were more Beis Shammai nicks than Beis Hillel nicks, so they quickly passed 18 laws. Now, the Gemara wants to deduce from this price of Shmamina, the Tarvayu Shemayat, it's not two different cases, one on Shabbos, one on Erev Shabbos, they're both Erev Shabbos. And we're concerned that you're going to come to be Mata the Nair even on Shabbos.
What's the chilik what is the issue by turning the light? It's going to cost more wax to burn. So that's by bishu.
You might extinguish it through your movement.
Not because so let's say
We'll see. In Bameh Madlikin, we're going to deal with what the issue of Shemayat. There's a machlokas of what is the problem with Shemayat. Some say it's because of extinguishing. Some say because when you make it flow, it's going to cause more. Either way, it's a malacha daraisa. Whether you extinguish or whether you cause more light.
So let's say, why do we today a lamp, for example, you touch a lamp, maybe
That's
why do we
muktzah.
need a- no,
That's
why
muktzah.
forget about muktzah. I mean, why do we allow a lamp? Maybe we're going to make it even higher on Shabbos. Maybe we'll put it in another switch to make it higher, more light. Why are we afraid of that? The same way.
Because the way the candle worked, so that it was filled with oil, and if you moved it, so the oil either went up the wick more or got rid of it more, so you would extinguish. So that's Ikar Adin, you're causing a problem with the light switch.
But the other mandar says what's the other mandar say? One is because you're making more fire, and the other
one is
mandar
more,
says,
one is extinguishing.
so why don't we say, but if we're afraid maybe he'll turn the lamp off on Shabbos, electric light or something. Why don't we say maybe?
Why? There's nothing to do with oil and wick. It just works completely. We're not goyzer where that the person is going to switch the light. They know that it's an Isser Deraisa to do that because of bone net.
Okay,
so perhaps here you're reading, so they knew that people were prone to do it, so they made Xera.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't make Xera regarding our electricity. First, there was a whole debate whether you could use the electricity as electricity. Usser, that was 100 years ago. But there's no Xera of Shemayata regarding electric lamps.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says, Amar Rav Yehuda b'Shem Shmuel, Amar Shmuel, Afilu lavchin ben big dol v'bigdei ishto, that if you're going to use the light to tell the difference between your clothing and your wife's clothing, that's also, you're worried about Shemayate to be able to see it better. That's one for the people of Mechuzah. Aval the Bnei Chaklai saw, they know the difference between men and women's clothing. Only old people. But younger people, there's no gzeira not to do it because it's very easy to tell those two types of clothing apart. You're not allowed to delouse a garment in Rosh Hashanah because of Kovad Abriyas that they're gonna be disgusted. You're gonna have to squish them. It's gonna end up splashing on their garment. We don't make an emetic, like a fluid that makes you vomit. We also don't do that with Shizarabim because we don't. It's a bizoyan to the people walking around with Shizarabim. Torah Bar, Hamafalas Kelav. If someone is delousing, Molel v'zorek, you can roll it and sort of squeeze it a little bit and then throw it, as long as you don't kill it. L'vach lo yaharu. He says you shouldn't roll it, just take it off and throw it. On Rav Yehuna, halacha moil of the zarek v'zeu krover. That's the least bizoyandik way of doing it. And you should do it that way at Fila B'chol, even without the worry about killing it, because it's disgusting, and therefore we want to be less disgusting. And therefore throwing it by itself is the best way to do it. Rava Mekatalu, he would kill the glass. Rav Sheish is also Mekatalu, would also kill it. Rava Shadilu Lakani Damai, he would throw it in a pail of water, so he wouldn't kill it be a dime, he'd let the water drown it. This is Shabbos. Rav Nachman said to his daughters, Toilin, you can kill them. Vashmina li kala desandasi. you should use combs. They would comb the garment, and
Doctor,
that
what
would
about the
get
problem? What about the problem with Shabbat Chaim? Letting it drown in the water, the life, the love.
Well, he didn't want to kill him directly. He didn't want to be hoyreg them be a dayim mamish.
So therefore, you're allowed to do Shabbat Chaim that way.
Well, a louse.
It's not Tzar Balachim
Is there-
or Allah.
Is there tzar balechaim for bacteria?
Yeah, no.
No, I'm saying, Penny. I think it
You're always
does it
killing
have-
bacteria inadvertently. So a louse is not a bacteria. A louse is an insect, isn't it?
I understand. So the question is the level of its nervous system, and whether or not the tzar balechaim would apply to that.
Well,
We
can you
have
kill
to
a
learn it.
virus? Can you kill
Say
a
again?
virus? Can you kill a virus?
Of course you can. Those things aren't even seen by
Yeah.
the human. Anything that the malachim can't see, the Torah wasn't given. Lo nitna Torah l'malach hasharetz.
Right.
We can't anything we can't
Right.
see with the naked eye. There's really no dinim applying to that. And Pini asks a good question, but I don't think there's an Indian of tzar balechaim unless it's a
Okay.
certain type of level of organism that has a nervous system, etc., etc. And these are considered pests, right? It's a pest.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like an animal that's coming chasing after you to kill you, you're allowed to kill it. What
Right.
about tzar balechaim?
You're right. Yeah.
No, I don't know. So we have to learn the sugya of tzar balechaim. I think it's a good point, but I think it has to do a lot with the level of living thing that it is. Tanya Rav Shimon Lazar Ein Horginus Amatkulis b'Shabbos. Different Beis Shammai. Beis Shammai says you can't kill a louse on Shabbos. However, Beis Hillel says you can. Matiri. And the halacha says mutter. Kedas Beis Hillel. Now, if you clean out your garment, they say you shouldn't do it lechatchila because you might kill some other kind of insect that's not a louse. Where against the louse they were allowed to kill, but the others were not. So if you're mutter, if you're mutter to kill them according to Beis Hillel, then there's certainly no issue of tzar balechaim. And therefore, yet Rava didn't want to kill Biadayim. He wanted to do it sort of through a grumma, let the water kill it. On Shabbos, we don't arrange shidduchim because there's money involved in it. And you don't make arrangements with the principal to send him to school or to send him to a plumber school or electrician school. That's lamda umnis. Ve'ein menachemim avelim. You don't do nichum avelim. Ve'mevakrin choylin b'Shabbos tivir Beis Shammai. U'Beis Hillel matiri. Beis Hillel matirs all of this. The halacha says, "Kol davar sheyesh bo mishum mitzvah, av sheyesh b'davar tzad shel esek, mutter ledaber oidosav b'Shabbos." That's why we say in the Zmiros, "U'leshadei chabonos," right? V'lachshav machshavos, l'shadei chabonos. For example, you can make an appeal on Shabbos to give tzedakah. So anything that's tied to a mitzvah, even though there's some cheshbonos involved, they still allows you to do it. Period. Ton Rabbanon. Hanichnas levakar sachoyle. In fact, Bikur Choilim is allowed on Shabbos, and you should use a different formula. Oimer Shabbos imelizik. Shabbos should help you. Or refuah kroiva lava, which we add into our Misha Beiros on Shabbos, which we don't say during the week. Rav Meir Oimer Yechol Lagisha Terache. That Shabbos will help you be menachem this. Rav Yehuda Oimer, Amokim Yerachem Alecha B'Chol Yisrael. He would include the chole with other chole Yisrael. Rabbi Yossi Omer Mokim Yirakim Alecha B'toch Chol Yisrael. All of these languages have been utilized in our Mishnah Beiros. Shevna Ishu Shalayim B'knisaso, and when he would walk into the Chola's room, he would say Shalom. Uvitziyaso Omer Shabbos Imelizok Urefua Krov Lavo V'Rachma Merubim V'Shivto B'Shom. That was his formula. And Keman Azad Rav Chanina, who is this going like me? Sheyesh l'chol b'toch beso, tzarach she'avinu b'toch chol Yisrael, whoever has a chola that you want to daven for, you should include him with other cholim. Keman Rabbi Yossi, and that's why we paskin like Rabbi Yossi in our Mishnah Beirach. We say b'soch shar chol Yisrael. Am Rav Chanina b'koishi hitil anachim avelim u'levaker cholim b'Shabbos. It wasn't easy for them to be matir, nichum avelim and vikra cholim on Shabbos, because these are things that lead to tsar in general. We don't want tsar on Shabbos. When we would go to Rabbi Ezer to find out how the cholah was doing, Zin and Omar, sometimes he would say, "Amokom yivkod cholashalom." Kodesh Baruch Hu should keep track of you in peace. V'zinin Omer lei Rachmana yitkari cholashlam, which is in Aramaic, not Hebrew. So the Gemara wants to know, Hechi Omenachi. How did he speak in Aramaic? Omer Rav Yud lo elamai yishalom tzrachov b'lashon Arami. A person should not ask for his needs in Aramaic. Somehow the malachim are involved when we ask for things, especially for our personal needs. The malachim somehow convey the message. And the problem with using Lashon Arami, she'ein malachi asheres maktirim b'Lashon Arami. So how did he use Lashon Arami? The choila is not going to get better. So, shiny choila d'shchina imo. We have no problem. We can use any language because we know, just like when Yosef came to visit his father Yaakov, he bowed to the head of the bed because the shchina was there. So the shchina is with the choila. So we don't need an intermediary, the malach, who that way we have to speak it in Hebrew so the malach can take it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The shchina is there directly. Just like I want to say agav, that I say a vort, and because we're coming on to Pesach, that why do we say halachma anya? All of a sudden we start the Seder, and all of a sudden we start talking Aramaic. So normally on Shabbos, what do we do when we come home from Shabbos? We say Shalom Aleichem, because the Malachim, right, are accompanying us home. So we greet them and we say goodbye to them in Hebrew because Malachim don't speak Aramaic. But on Pesach night, when eventually we're going to say Hu v'lo Malach, Hu v'lo Yisara, right? Who took us out of Egypt? Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's no Malachim involved. That's why we don't even mention Moshe Rabbeinu in the Haggadah to emphasize HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that's why we start the Seder that started in Aramaic. So we have the point. There's only the Shekhinah here. We don't need Malach. So it fits into this Gemara very well. How do we know Kodesh Baruch Hu himself feeds the choila? Shenemar, Hashem Yisadenu supports the choila al eres dvoy, on the bed of pain. Tanya Ma'achi, Anichlas Lavakers Achoila, Lo Yeshev Lo Agabi Mitov Lo Agabi Kisei. Don't sit on his bed. Don't sit on a chair. Elamis Atef Yoshev Lefanav. You should put a talis on and sit in front of him. Or not put a talis on. You should wear a head covering or make sure that you're dressed in a proper way because the Shekhinah is there. Hashem Yisadenu al eretz tvor. That he nourishes the choilish nemar. Hashem Yisadenu. Sa'ad is from the language of support. Al eretz tvor. There's a v'lo yikra lo or aner. We said you shouldn't read Erev Shabbos lo or aner because it's a gzeira. Afilu gvor shtei koimos, even if the nair is 2 stories above you. Afilu shtei merdos afilu asor batim zo gavzu. That means the gzeira was made lo plu. Chadu de lo likri. Now, if one person is reading from the ordinary, you can't. Hatre shapir dami. So that seems to imply that if 2 people are reading from the same candle, they're allowed to do it. There's another price that says even if 2 people are reading, they can't read. If they're each learning from the same subject, then each one will remind each other, oh, Shabbos is coming, we can't touch it. But if this guy's learning Midrashim and the other guy's learning Kabbalah, they're learning 2 inyanim, they're not going to remind each other, so that's a problem. On Ravuna, Uva Madura, in a big fire, like a bonfire, and each person is sitting far apart from each other. You cannot, because each person is going to rely on the flame. They don't see each other, and each one's going to go and try to make the flame maybe closer to him so he can see better. And that certainly they're far apart from each other. And Amarav Avalpisha Asruli Krola Aran Amarav Imadim Chashavu Mutter. That means if he's a Talmid Chacham or an important personage, so he even on Wednesday he's going to have a servant deal with the candle, so he doesn't have a problem on Shabbos either or Erev Shabbos. Meisvei says Lo Yikra Lo Raner Shema Yate. And on Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, by the way, who was Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha? That was the Kohen Gadol. That's when we talk about on Yom Kippur and on Tisha B'Av, the Eila Eskara, the Asar Aruge Malchus, and the Tunis, the Nasi, Rav Shimon Gamliel, and the Kohen Gadol Rabbi Shmuel. We're talking about Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha. This is the same, the song of Tanya on Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, right? Who would go lifnai v'lifnim, and the Romans ended up killing. So I'm Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha. Ani ekra v'loy ate. Listen, I'm a big Talmid Chacham. I'm going to read, and I'm not going to make the mistake. Pamachas kara ubikesh lahates. He once read, and he had to stop himself. He was about to do it. Omer kama gdolim divrei chachamim. Look how great Chazal is. Shayu amim lo yikra lo raner. Doesn't make a difference who. Rav Nosson Omer, you're wrong. Kara v'hita was Shabbos. He read and he turned it and he touched it, and he either extinguished or caused more flame. And therefore he was chai v'chatas. The Kasav Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha lived after the destruction of the temple. He was around before the destruction and after the destruction. Because when Yishmael ben Elisha karisi b'teis ner b'Shabbos l'shekish yibana beis hamikdash avi chata shmeina, and in Mirz Hashem in the future beis hamikdash is going to be rebuilt. I owe a chatas. He kept track. Amar Baba. So what about Adam Choshev Shiny? It seems that he held you shouldn't do it. Amar Baba Shiny Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha hoilu meisim atzval divrei Torah kehedyon. He was very humble. He treated himself like an Adam Pashut, and he wasn't makbid on his covet. But an Adam Choshev, who normally is not going to be dealing with the candle even during the week, he doesn't have this gzeira on Shabbos because he normally doesn't touch it. Rabbi Shmuel treated himself very pashut, so that's why he did. That if a Rebbe has a gabbai, a shamis, he can check Erev Shabbos the kosos and the plates if they're clean, and going into Shabbos, of course, as well. The Tanit lo yuto. The Rebbe says you shouldn't check. So lo kasha kan b'shabbos kavua. If he's the regular shamus, so he is going to want to make sure that his Rebbe has clean glasses. So he's going to check very well. So we're concerned that he's going to shemayate. He doesn't care. He's a replacement shamus. So we're not worried about him. Because he's not going to check very well. So he's not going to come to touch the oil wick. If you want, I'll resolve the problem. Both are talking about a regular shamus. Olive oil is very dirty. And it doesn't provide very good light. So there you have to worry, shemayate. But nefta is like kerosene. Shem and Zayis is not dirty, but neft is very dirty. So because it's so filthy, they're going to stay, they can check the oraner of kerosene because they're not going to touch it because it's filthy. So they asked Shamash She'ena Kavua, who we said normally is allowed to check because he's not going to do such a good job. B'demishcha mav. But what about where we said with Shemen Zayis, where we say there it's usher because it's clean and it doesn't produce very good light. Maybe there we have to worry. Amar Rav, halacha ve'ein moirin kei. He's permitted a shamash she'ena kavua, but we don't announce it publicly. If he knows the halacha by himself, he can do it, but don't announce it publicly. However, you can say that it's mutter even berabit. Rav Yirmiyah Barba equal to Rav Asi. Rav Yirmiyah visited Rav Asi. His servant got up and checked his candle, checked the kosos with the candle. So the wife of Rav Asi said, you don't allow me to do it. Or you don't allow your shaman. He was like his Rebbe, who was Moirin K, that you're allowed to do it. And then we talked about the Cheder teacher. He also couldn't, he could see where the children are reading from, but he shouldn't read it. It said in the Raya that he could see my lovely cross. Doesn't mean he could also read. Look, he cannot read L'Sade Rosha Parshiosa. He can arrange the parshas that they're going to read, but that he has to read tomorrow, but he shouldn't read now at night. He can arrange the parshas that he's going to read tomorrow, but that Kula Parsha Lo, well, he can't read the whole parsha. Mace fellows, I'll ask you a steer that shows that I got an email that Svika is not giving a shiur. Did you get the same email?
I was thinking one thing, Ernie. First of all, we always one daf behind because of Friday. Number one, can you do a daf on Friday morning, like at 8 or no? If everybody agrees.
I could.
I'm in for it.
Everybody okay with 8 o'clock in the morning? Friday morning?
Yeah. Sure.
That's a good idea.
Sure.
So this way we're not behind.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Yaakov might still be able to do it as well. 8 o'clock in the morning over here. It's only 5 o'clock.
My question is, did everybody get the same email that Svika is not giving the shiur?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, he's not giving shiur.
Okay,
Yeah.
So therefore we can have our shiur tomorrow at 8.
Yeah. And then
Now,
the rabbi's
by the way, Johnny, one of these days, I'm going to learn 2 blots so I can get ahead. So when we teach the daf, we're going to be teaching the next day's blot. Because really, tonight is the next day. So we should be like one of the, so people can listen to the daf and be on the blot. Because people are listening to the daf, to the podcast.
Doc, do you want to do that on a Sunday or you want to do that on a Friday? 2 daf.
I'm going to do it on a day where we have the time, maybe on a Sunday. I think maybe we'll do Yud Daled because Yud Daled is very small. We'll do it on one of these days. Yeah, I think Yud Daled and Tesvav will do both days. Because I think we're on today's daf. We're on the daf, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are.
We are.
Okay, so we'll so
Tomorrow is 8 o'clock.
And
Okay.
Friday, 8 o'clock.
No,
is a
not
good
tomorrow.
idea.
Tomorrow night,
No.
8 o'clock, and Friday,
Okay.
8 o'clock. Okay.
The meeting is over.
Shabbos. Hang on. Motzei Shabbos, we're also not davening together as at Tzibur, so we'll learn Motzei Shabbos. What time do we should learn 8 p.m. Is that okay, Johnny?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can we do 15 minutes after this man, maybe? No?
We could do that as well.
What time is
That's
this man? I don't know. We'll look
I have
it
no
up
idea
and see
what time.
this
What
man
time is Mr. Shabbos?
We'll see when Mr. Shabbos is.
Okay,
Exactly.
listen, let's talk by writing because the meeting is going to be canceled.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem.
Good night,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye.
Doctor. Good
Good
night,
night. Good
everybody.
night. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, till tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Bye, Mario.
Good night.